So, before I start this video, I just want to say I tried to do an aesthetic intro, failed miserably as I first tried to find the building and then tried to find the classroom. So, I, of course, kept looking around, kept going up the stairs, down the stairs, and as I went up, I reached the third floor only to realize there is a sign that says no access to third floor and my pathway was blocked. So, in urgency, I rushed back downstairs, looked around, kept looking around until I found a very promising sign, but I had to go up the stairs again. So, up I go, and I looked around this floor until I finally found the classroom. By this point, I was tired, reached into my bag for water, and I realized I had to go back downstairs because I didn't have any water with me. And before you ask, yes, I looked at the third floor and the second floor. There was no vending machine. So, since the vending machine didn't appear in front of me magically, I had to keep looking around until I turned a corner and found it. After paying $3.25, I finally had my water bottle in my hands,
Thank you for your
and I was
choice.
very happy
Enjoy.
because honestly, I just kept climbing upstairs and I was very tired. I was thirsty and I needed water. And that happiness was short-lived when I saw the stairs. I had to go back up. And yeah, I was very out of breath by this point. And I went back to the building, found a seat, and essentially collapsed in it. By this time, it was 3 p.m., so it took me about half an hour. But I had 2 hours to the exam, so I did some reviewing. And at 8 p.m. on a random Tuesday, I was officially done with university. With the very aesthetic part of this video done, I will sign out of the voiceover and we can actually focus on the main video. Okay, so now it is essentially time to plan for my quote unquote break and making sure that I actually do get to finish and accomplish all the things that I want to do. Okay, so I'm just going to be using the general Samsung Notes app thing. I have this grid page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this page to four just for this initial planning, just because I think a lot of my goals typically fall under four different categories. I've seen people plan by doing like physical, emotional, mental, spiritual goals, and they kind of do different ways of planning, but my goals are similar. Like they fall under similar categories, but still slightly different. So the first category is going to be spiritual. Now, I might fill this up off camera or just not include it in this video just because I think that's a little bit more personal. And then the next category is going to be my art because my art is very important to me. And then next, I'm going to focus on some of my more fitness slash physical health related goals. And lastly, I am going to focus a little bit more on my social life just because that tends to be quite lacking. And with university finishing and all of us going in our different ways, I still want to be able to meet my friends, talk to them, see them, grab lunch, etc., etc. Sometime down the line, I might have like an additional category for professional goals, but that is something I want to consider maybe a couple months down the line, just because, like I said, I just finished university and it's not at the top of my to do list. So, yeah, I'm going to skip spiritual. Maybe I'll just draw like a prayer rug, which does not look pretty, but there we go. Okay. And then, yeah, I'll just fill this up off camera. So, for my art goals, um, the first thing that I really want to achieve is I want to attend, here, I'll just zoom in a little bit, at least two different markets, or I shouldn't say markets, different. I'll say two markets. The good thing is, I'll say two markets this year. The good thing is I already signed up to be a vendor at one of the markets that is June 22nd. I'll share more details later, but I'm kind of already halfway done with this goal. Hopefully, I mean, I am having a lot of imposter syndrome going on and a lot of doubts going on with this goal, but I do think that this is something that is going to push me out of my comfort zone. Something I've also been doing is just clicking on as many market related content and ads on Instagram. So I'm getting a lot of things like ads and commercials that relate to local markets. So if I see something that kind of piques my interest, I do want to apply and at least by the end of the year have 2 markets done. I'll make a note here. I'll say 1 in progress. I know there tends to be a lot of markets towards the end of the year as well, so I'm going to keep an eye out for that too. Next, I want to post weekly YouTube videos. And the way I am going to achieve this is simply by motivation. But no, I need to have a good plan in place in terms of making this happen. And I think a good way to do that is being 1 week ahead of my upload schedule, just so I'm not rushing on, say, a Friday or a Saturday to get a video done by Sunday. And another thing is, I want to have probably dedicated filming and editing days. So I'm thinking mostly weekends, just because I am home on weekends typically. So things like Friday, I'll just say Sat, just because I can fit it better. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Probably not the full day, of course, but maybe it's something like filming on Friday, editing on Saturday, and preparing it for upload for the following week on a Sunday or something. And another good thing about this goal is that I have a fairly long list of video ideas. And so hopefully this is going to be achievable. If not weekly, for sure bi weekly is my aim. But I'm going to aim for weekly first and see how that goes. My next big goal in this category is having having essentially like finishing my next series of artworks. I will make a video describing my philosophy and my new approach to art. But essentially, very brief summary, what I want to do is I want to just do a series of art pieces where I explore maybe new subjects, new themes, new mediums if need be. And that way I will continue to grow as an artist. I'll continue to experiment while still having some sort of cohesiveness in my art pieces. I already have the theme kind of planned out and determined for this. I don't know what I will draw, but I know what theme I want these art pieces to fall under. And I want there to be 3 pieces under this series. And it will be good for me as well because then I can use these art pieces on the market. So this and this can kind of go hand in hand. And lastly, which is something that is not very planned as in depth as the other 3 categories, I'm going to say gallery and put a question mark next to it. Just because ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to see my art piece in a gallery. Back in 2021, I think, I was part of our university's exhibition as part of a club thing. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really nice. And I wanted to see if there are any exhibitions, anything related to galleries that I can look into. This is, like I said, it's a question mark. This is not a very high priority. But if I have the time or if the right opportunity presents itself, this is something I want to look at more. So, my next set of goals pertain to my more fitness and physical health related goals. So, the first thing is, of course, I want to fix my sleep schedule. When you are a student, your sleep schedule tends to be a little bit on the messy side. Sometimes you sleep late, you wake up super early, sometimes you wake up late depending on when your classes are, etc. So I want to have a decent sleep schedule. The good thing about this is I'm going to kind of start supporting my family in their family business, like the work that we do. So maybe working like 4 times a week, and of course, waking up early to get there. That is for sure going to help a little bit more. And yeah, I think the biggest concern here is not waking up early, but it's sleeping early. So for now, my goal is going to be my latest sleep at 12 a.m. And then, depending on other factors, I might sleep earlier, but I don't want to go past the sleep time. Like I said, it's not waking up early that's the problem, it's sleeping early, which is the problem. Maybe sleeping like half an hour to an hour early and kind of shifting my sleep schedule back just a little bit like that. And then my next goal is working out 4 times a week. I'm going to put a +1 here, and I'll explain what this +1 is. But working out 4 times a week, I was working out pretty consistently from the start of like the end of last year. I did kind of stop since Ramadan. Um, but because I have been working out consistently before, I don't think it's going to be that difficult for me to get into this. I already have everything I need in terms of like adjustable dumbbells at home and whatever I need. And during the time that I was working out, I was able to determine that 4 times a week is ideal for me. I can't do five. Well, if I forced myself, I could do five, but among all other things, five was quite difficult. And three made me feel like I did not achieve anything. So four for me was ideal. And I'm doing a +1 per week because what I want to do is I want to try some fun things. So, this +1 is the type of activities where you're moving your body, but it doesn't feel like you are, or I don't know how to describe it. It's the more active stuff that is fun. I mean, working out can be fun too, but I'll explain. Hold on. For example, something I want to do is learn archery. To me, that is very fun. And then I have rock climbing. I have been rock climbing slash bouldering, depending, um, with my friend occasionally. And we did agree to doing this once a month, which will go hand in hand with this social side of things as well. I mean, this fixing sleep schedule thing will also go hand in hand with my spiritual well being. So, a lot of these goals I feel go hand in hand, which hopefully will make achieving them easier. Then I want to learn how to swim. And then something that I really enjoy doing also is rollerblading. And worst comes to worst, honestly, just go for a walk. I wrote these down just so when the day comes, I don't feel stuck. I still have ideas that I can refer to, which will hopefully make achieving these goals a little bit easier. So the next goal is social. I do apologize if my voice sounds very scratchy. I have not spoken this much in a long time, but the first thing I need to do is get my driver's license. And yes, I am getting my university degree before I get my driver's license. Please do not judge me. Um, it's just I was not able to prioritize this. It's not that I don't know how to drive, it's just that I need practice. Okay, so I need to get my driver's license so that it is easier for me to meet friends. Also, just so it's easier for me to do some of these things like rock climbing, going to swim, learning archery, and all that stuff. So, again, goes hand in hand. It could also help for sure with like the market side of things. For this one, I don't know what my plan is, I will be honest. I feel like I need to just dedicate 2 weeks every day, just practicing for an hour, like half an hour every day, and then going into the test. But I feel more comfortable driving typically in the mornings where the roads are a little bit emptier, or very late into the evenings where again the roads are emptier, at least at the start. So I need to find a family member or someone who is available during those times. So I don't know how I'm going to find the time for this, to be honest. Especially if like I work in the mornings, then when am I going to drive? I don't know. This is still a little bit of a question mark for me. Like all I need to do is just dedicate 2 solid weeks to get that license, but it has proven to be a challenge for me. I think I just have like a mental roadblock of some sort when it comes to this thing. I don't know why. It's a goal though. I wrote it down, but yeah, it's something I'm gonna have to think about a little bit more. And then my next goal, it is fairly simple. It is just to see friends or do something fun with the family at least once a month. So I'll say once a month here. And so some of these fun things can include workshops, going to cafes. I really like going to cafes, grabbing lunch. It could even be like Zoom craft days or something like that, crafts and arts and crafts days. There are workshops like ring making. Okay. Um, ooh, physical. I can also add horseback riding. I really want to do that. I've done that once. And this can go into like the social side of things as well, similar to rock climbing. Um, I'll say workshops plus fitness, just so I know if I run out of ideas, I can just refer to some of the activities here that can be done with friends, like learning archery. I know the friend I rock climb with was also interested in this, so that could be something we learn together. Or I could just grab a family member to go with me and we can learn together. Anyways, going back to workshops, there was a lamp making, like a Turkish lamp making workshop. There was a like a cologne slash perfume making type thing. Um, And then I found this place in my city that hosts monthly workshops. So I essentially, all this entails is keeping an eye out for those. And worst comes to worst, just grabbing lunch or having, Zoom craft days or just talking to each other through Zoom and all that stuff, and hopefully doing something fun as we do so. Okay, so that concludes all of my goals for my break. Um, and I say break just because I don't intend on working right away. I'm hoping to just spend a bit of time that is me time. And in that time, I just want to achieve the things that I wanted to for the longest time and learn the skills that I wanted to for the longest time, but simply didn't have the time to. And like I said, down the line, I will for sure introduce a professional development category just because there are some certifications and stuff in there that I want to learn more about. And I honestly find learning fun. So I will keep an eye out for those after I've at least gotten started with some of these and achieved some of these things. Right now, I am in an era of my life where I just want to prioritize my well being, whether it be spiritual, fitness, slash physical, social, emotional, mental. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining me in this very chill, a little bit chaotic planning video. And I hope to see you in my next one.